We're in.
Oh, and here we are. Welcome.
Hey, were you doing you were just doing the Tim Walz, right? The devil that Tim Walz is? Yeah.
He's so hip and cool.
Oh,
he's
my
the man.
God.
Welcome, Timmy. Tampon Timmy. How you doing, buddy? We're going to talk about your state today. What's going on there, by the way? Minnesota. You've got a few things going on. You got your ice shit. I mean, you're an icicle right now because you're like 40 below.
Oh, yeah.
So you're an icicle, and then you got the fraudsters that are bilking everybody out of their taxpayer dollars and sending it off to, I don't know, terrorist organizations funded in part by the Somali government or Somali warlords. Something like that, right? Anyway, we're going to talk a little about that today and get in all of this so we can see really kind of what's going on and why are people not more upset about this shit with the Somali fraud. It seems like we're I don't know, supporting and protecting people who are screwing us as Americans out of everything that is American.
Yeah, we've talked about it before. The I guess it's hip and cool now for I don't even want to say the Democrats, but I would definitely say the blues or the libs to really get on these bandwagons and just write them out, these anti-American bandwagons, and write them out until it's really, they're really throwing some serious wrenches in our democracy,
way of life
and our way of life and the freedoms that we already enjoy. But
they think they're doing good work, God's work.
Yeah. And they think they're doing good work. They think they're doing it for the people when it is not for our people.
No.
And why do you keep prioritizing things that are for non-Americans?
Yeah.
I don't understand
they were born here, but they're citizens of this country. These are people who are very possessive about where they live, who have no right probably to be that way. This is our community. This is our town. Is that? No, you weren't born here. You people were brought here. You people have moved here. You people have been, imported here. And now you think that this is your country. This is your way of life. This is your city. I mean, I'm all for people wanting to be here and want to come here legally and do it the right way. But when you start coming in here, it's like the no-go zones. We talked about this before many times. The no-go zones in England and other places, Germany, Sweden, things like that. The Muslim community has come in, and the radical ones have come in and stated, "No, this is our community. No-go zone. You can't go here. We want to, put Sharia law into place and things like that." This is not American. This is not Western civilization. This is all bass-ackwards, 1400 years ago methodology of life. Sharia law, cut your hand off if you steal. I mean, this is bass-ackwards shit, and people are allowing it, and they're using the guise of Islamophobia and racism to cover for these people and allow them to do what they're doing. And so now we have somebody like Imam Dani, who is touting he's a democratic socialist when he's really a Marxist and is Islamist. Not a really good true Muslim, but is Islamist. And he wants to take over, and he wants to allow. Do you really want 5 times a day the call to prayer being played over loudspeakers in your neighborhood?
Yeah,
I certainly don't.
I saw some of those videos they're doing in New York, and it's insane.
Why are we allowing this shit? We have freedom of religion, yes, but I also have freedom of not having to have your religion inflicted upon me.
Exactly.
So let's get that straight.
Yeah, you practice where you want to practice. That's you that's fine. Do what you want to do. That's great.
But we're all kinds of covers on my life.
Yeah. And when it starts to, trickle over and infringe on my freedom of religion,
then
that's a problem.
Well,
You know what I mean?
especially when many of you in this quote unquote religion, you know, really kind of want to kill you if you don't convert to their way of life and their religion, or
Yeah.
you have to pay this heavy tax. I'm sorry, pay the heavy tax to whom? Who am I
Yeah,
paying this?
who are we paying this tax to?
Yeah, and why do you think you have the authority to collect some sort of tax from me in the first place? I mean, when you start getting that way, last I checked, I mean, we live in a very big Mormon area, not so much in our metro area anymore, but
Mhm.
it's still prevalent. They're still in politics and all that, and they do inflict certain things upon us, but we also have a right not to have to abide by it either.
Mhm.
And we're certainly not being forced to join this particular religion. And we're certainly not, if you're a member of this religion and you decide to leave this religion, you're certainly not threatened. Your life is not threatened
Your life isn't threatened. Yeah.
to leave. So there's a little bit of a difference. And what we have now is a community in Minneapolis, in Minnesota, that thinks that they are superior to our laws, our way of life. Everything has been given to them out of the kindness of our hearts because we are compassionate people. We want to help immigrants. Well, these people aren't immigrants. They were brought here. They were imported here. They were forced upon us
Mhm.
in huge numbers. And now you have communities when these people kind of get together and they have no desire to assimilate into American society. They want their little Somalia. They want their little Mogadishu. They want their little Tehran. They want their little whatever the hell you want to call it, Mecca here in our country, and we have no right to come into their area. I, I'm sorry. What country are you in? What country do you
Yeah,
think you're in?
you're an American dog.
Oh man,
So let's fire it off. Let's get into this.
yeah. Let's get into this right now. All right, gang. Welcome to the Rude Barn Podcast. We appreciate you joining us. We've done a couple of these today. And first of all, we want to tell you, please check out the Etsy store. It's therudebarn.etsy.com. We got some merch in there, such as this, question everything. Been wearing
That's
this for
our
the last
motto.
couple podcasts we've been doing.
Mhm.
All proceeds go to kind of help the show. We don't make very much on everything, so it's priced about at our cost almost. And we appreciate you getting in there. Please like, subscribe, share. To people that you think are enjoying it, we try to have a little fun with this and then entertain you. We're here to entertain you.
Throw some comments down. We like talking to everybody. So, if you want to talk, give us a shout. I'm
Comment
the
below.
Rude, if you don't know. And
There.
that's the barn. He's over there.
I'm over here. Right here.
I'm gonna pen poke him.
Oh, dude.
And you are
What's wrong shoulder?
watching.
Ow. It's like a voodoo doll. You hit one shoulder. I felt it over here. Anyway.
You are watching the Rude Bar Podcast, and we got some things to talk about.
We got some shit to get into. So let's get into it right now. So we're talking about the social welfare fraud going on in Minnesota with the Somali population. Majority of Somali population is doing this. And they're bilking us out of, last I heard, the number was up to $19 billion. Is that right?
19
like
billion. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Billions and billions of dollars. And so now Trump is trying to nip this in the bud. And of course, it's Trump. So he can't do this. And he is a dictator. And he's a racist Islamophobe and everything, right? What else can we call him?
Yeah, I mean, pick one out of the dictionary. They're calling him Nazi,
right out
dictator,
of your ass and see what comes up.
Yeah.
Trump is getting the I don't know, he's getting the backlash from this whole thing because I don't know, he's trying to save the taxpayer dollars that's coming out of your paychecks, by the way. He's trying to save your taxpayer dollars from going to groups that are terrorist organizations or anything else overseas or elsewhere into the actual Somali community themselves. it's going to these people who are opening daycare centers. Everybody's seen the Nick Shirley stuff where he's
Mhm.
gone in and say, where are the kids? Can I put my kid in here? And all this shit, and he's getting shit now. He's getting people like, oh, Nick, this has not been going on just for the last few months. This has been going on for a little while, and I think it's been since at least 2020. So they say, when did the scandal begin? September 2022, the administration of Trump's predecessor, Joe Biden, then U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland, a loser, announced the indictment of 47 people accused of defrauding $250 million from a state-run, federally funded child nutrition program during COVID-19 pandemic beginning in 2020. So maybe they were actually trying to do a little something, but I don't know if anything ever happened because this continues to this day.
Hmm.
So maybe they were pretending they were doing something. Sounds like a lot of like what the Biden administration did. I don't think they really actually ever accomplished anything other than bringing millions upon millions upon millions of people illegally into this country.
Yeah,
Uh,
and shutting down schools and making us all get a jab and all
oh yeah,
that. We can't forget about
yeah.
that.
Being the dictator he was,
Mhm.
forcing a jab upon people. People are getting fired because they didn't take the jab. I mean, unbelievable. So
Mhm.
how is this connected to Somali Americans and Somali immigrants? Well, the founder, executive director of Feeding Our Future. Remember that, this Amy Bach person. Apparently, she's a white American woman who is accused of overseeing the fraud scheme. Many of her employees, associates, and co-defendants were Somali Americans. Minnesota has the largest number of people of Somali origin of any state in the United. And guess what? They're all congregated in the same area,
Mhm.
same town. 76,000 in 2024. When you get that many people I mean, imagine 76,000 Americans moving in, and we have no reason to want to assimilate into uh, Saudi culture, let's just say.
Mhm.
Okay. And so we have 76,000. How long do you think that would actually last over in Saudi Arabia, by the way? 76,000 Americans living, and we want to basically say this whole 10 square mile area, 20 square mile area, whatever you want to call it. And we're all Americans. We're going to be American, but we're going to live in Saudi Arabia, but we're Americans and we're in America,
And
basically,
we're gonna run this area
the way we want.
as like it's a tiny little strip of America,
Yeah. And we're not going
right?
to abide by Sharia law. We're not going to
Nope.
abide by anything else that you have implemented in your little area. And there's nothing you can do about it. How do you think that would go over anywhere else?
Yeah, how would that sound?
Yeah, because we're already arrogant assholes everywhere we go when we go on vacation anyway, apparently, right?
Right. Yeah.
So Trump accused the Somalians collectively of ripping off Minnesota. Not just Minnesota, they're also in Ohio and elsewhere. They contribute nothing and are referred to them as garbage. Kind of harsh language, but is
I
he
mean, it's Trump.
wrong?
It's Trump.
I know, but is he wrong?
He's not wrong.
These countries are shitholes. Remember that? And he's referring to like Haiti. Oh, go to Haiti, go to Port-au-Prince, and see if you think that place is not a shithole. Please let us know. Pretty much guarantee it is if you even survive it. Even if you survive Port-au-Prince. He says, I
Yeah.
don't want them in our country. To be honest with you, if they're not wanting to assimilate and be part of this country, come here legally, no, I don't want them in our country either. Especially if they're ripping me off for my taxpayer dollars, you know? He
Mhm.
goes, I'll be honest with you. Somebody will say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care. Well, that's Trump there for you right there. Um, so a jury found Bach guilty in last March on all accounts. Last September, Department of Justice said at least 56 defendants have pled guilty. How has Minnesota responded? Oh, this is the same governor who allowed the shit to go on, the mostly peaceful protests of the George Floyd riots to go on in Minneapolis in 2020.
Mhm.
Minnesota's government began investigating Feeding Our Future in 2020. Sure, they did. The State's Department of Education relayed its concern about the fraud to the FBI, leading to indictments. The state also investigated Feeding Our Future fraud around state funding for violating Minnesota's charity laws. Well, isn't that interesting? Yet they're still operating. Yet they're still stealing more of our money. Yet they're still defrauding or frauding or committing fraud against people in Minnesota and the United States, because I believe Minnesota gets federal funding for some of these child feeding our future and these child care places or something like that.
Yeah,
Am I not right in that?
Mhm.
So this is the shit that's been kind of going on. And if nothing else, and there's nothing there, why can't we not investigate this, both sides of the aisle, and find out what's really happening without turning it into some racist propaganda that Trump is trying to, get rid of illegals, and he's just racist and he doesn't want black people in Minnesota.
Well, that's kind of the whole thing. I mean, fraud is fraud. And
It doesn't see color
yeah, fraud
or
doesn't see
religion.
color. Eh, but what bothers me about this thing is that, you know, it went unchecked since what, 2020? It looked like.
At least
So it's
2022.
yeah, so it's like, okay, well, it's there, but we're not gonna it's not high on the priority list right now. And I don't understand how American tax dollars and the way they are spent is not a high priority, for governors and leaders of state and stuff like that. Because I mean, especially in today's economy and
Yeah.
us trying to repair the economy, aren't we all on board with that? Aren't both
You
sides
would think.
on board with that?
Yeah.
You would think they would be, right?
Yeah.
And so to protect the American economy, and you're trying to protect um the way they feel about it, and and trying to get everybody to have a good attitude about where their money's going, what we're spending it on, what the outcomes are going to be on. I would think that that would be a huge priority.
Yeah.
Well, another thing though, what that begs the other question: if you're turning a blind eye to this kind of fraud, how are you gaining from it?
Right.
I'm
Right.
sorry. I got to
Right.
say it out loud because I question everything.
That's
I mean,
right.
that's a natural progression of questions, right?
Right. Oh, yeah.
So if you're not doing anything about it, you're not stopping it, and you're not,
Why?
you're
Why are
not
you not?
punishing the criminals who are doing it.
Yeah.
Why not?
Well, you've got girls, you got little kids, right?
Hmm.
Okay. And anybody who has kids out there and has half a brain in their head to be a good parent, which I would imagine 98% of the people are, at least.
Sure.
Of course, 67.73% of all statistics are made up. is
60% of
if
the time, every time.
exactly. If you allow your child to get away with something they shouldn't be able to get away with, and you don't punish them, do you think they continue to do that particular thing,
Infraction, a thing,
infraction?
activity. Yes.
Yeah. So leading into the next video we're going to talk about, that's basically what happens, and who is paying whom, what organizations are paying these judges to dismiss these cases, because that's what's going on, and that's what this video states right here. We have judges who are dismissing these cases against these Somalis, against these other people, mostly Somali, who are committing these frauds, and they're getting away with it, and they continue to get away with it. So let's listen to this report and see a little bit more. I think this was out of, this is like a month ago, but it still is relevant now. But anyway, I think this is out of a local news station there in the Minneapolis area.
The Minnesota judge who tossed out a jury's guilty verdict in a fraud case is not the only judge in Hennepin County who had problems with the state's case. I broke this story that went national a couple weeks ago. Judge Sarah West acquitted Abdi Fatah Youssef 3 months after a jury found him guilty in a $7.2 million home health care fraud scheme. Since then,
Okay, wait. So a jury
Wow.
or a grand jury or some sort of ruling, whether it was a jury trial or not, came down and said, no, they're guilty of this $7.2 million fraud scheme. Then this judge took it upon herself, which I don't believe is actually legal for her to do, and then dismissed the charges on whatever the hell grounds she thought that she could dismiss it on, which he might talk about here in a second. This is the problem we have, are these activist, anti-Trump biased judges who are probably put in there by the Obama or Biden administration. And it happens. Every president puts their people in. But we have these judges going in and overturning decisions that were made that they don't, unless they're in a particular, and any attorneys out there, please let us know in the comments how this works, because I'm not an attorney, obviously. But unless it's a non-jury trial where the judge literally is the one that brings down the decision of guilty or not guilty or whatever, if a jury comes back with a guilty or non-guilty verdict on somebody, the judge usually abides by that decision, correct? I don't know.
Right.
I think so. Can they overturn it? I guess technically they can, because I've also heard that if the judge says, well, they base their opinion upon a non-legal methodology or case or whatever it is, and therefore I believe their decision was incorrect, which, man, that's a slippery slope.
Yeah, or if there's overwhelming evidence that comes in at the 12th hour or whatever, not very often. It's just,
but the jury would have seen that before making their judgment. The defendants would have come back and said, wait a minute, we appeal this decision. Here's the extra evidence. And they would have,
and then they would have went back to trial. Yeah.
Right. Then it would have gone or started another trial or something like that. Gone to the Court of Appeals at that point, and done something like that. I don't believe many decisions can be overturned by judges, whether they believe they have. Justice is supposed to be blind. You're not supposed to utilize your opinions because you do or don't agree with the law on the books. We have a legislature passing laws for a reason, and the judicial branch of the administration or of the government is supposed to rule upon that, whether they agree with that law or not.
Mm-hmm.
You're not supposed to use your opinion. We cannot let people's opinions, because they may or may not agree or disagree with a particular law, be the basis. It's follow the letter of the law. It's how that's supposed to be. It's supposed to be that way. Apparently.
Well, and I guess my question is, though, too, is what did she have to gain? And
that's where I come back to who's paying her.
Right.
And is it worth it?
Or is it that she was threatened in some way, shape, or form?
There's another potential reason right there.
So those are the two questions that come up in my mind about this. Like, okay, what does she have to gain? Is it monetary, or is she being pressured into this and threatened? And, if somebody's committing fraud, especially with a healthcare system, in your state, you would think that any judge would throw the book at them right away.
And if they're not going to rule based on the letter of the law, then why are they on the bench?
Yeah, why do you have a job?
This is why I vote no to retain judges. Every single thing on my ballot, we retain a judge. No. I want them to know that they can be voted out. They need to do their job properly. Yeah. Does that happen to good judges? Probably, because I don't know all the judges on the ballot. How many of us know every single judge that's on that ballot that we're voting to retain or to dismiss?
I have maybe known two. In the time,
and you probably heard their names on the news because they were involved in some case that happened to be newsworthy.
Or I did a community service project with one of them. You know what I mean? Something like that.
Or that. Shit. So let's listen a little bit more.
I had to go talk to one of them. In a courtroom.
What are you talking about? Where's that going? I don't know. Let's see what else is. Maybe he found out a little bit more about this judge and her reasoning for pulling this bullshit. Let's check it out.
Found that another judge, Amber Brennan, dismissed charges against Yusuf's wife before it reached trial, and a third judge, Hillary Caligiuri, dismissed charges against another co-defendant. In that case, Caligiuri said the state had very little evidence. Judge West's ruling relies on a review standard for cases that rely heavily on circumstantial evidence with wording that is unique to Minnesota. It says that the evidence has to be inconsistent with any other reasonable hypothesis. I'm following.
Gee, that doesn't leave anything wide open for interpretation there, does it?
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, it's like there's a million miles right there.
My God, it's like saying something is hurtful. If you say something on social media, it's deemed to be hurtful, or it's deemed to be hateful, or is it deemed by whom? If I look at it like, no, that's not hurtful or hateful, but you can sit there and say, no, that is hurtful and hateful to me. I'm just very sensitive. I'm like, well, too fucking bad, dude.
Well, that's the thing. Who gets to decide that? Because you know,
and you don't.
And why is your opinion
more valid than mine?
More valid than mine? Yeah. Why is it held over mine?
Right.
That doesn't make sense.
No. And that's why I always hate these little excuses they use. You know, it's left up to major interpretation.
That's horseshit.
Yeah, it is horseshit.
When a state Supreme Court decision expected to come back soon that could completely rewrite all of that. It's the conviction of Nick Firkus for the 2010 murder of his wife, Heidi. Whether his conviction is overturned or affirmed, the court opinion will have a huge impact on many cases in the state. I'm Lou Ragoose. Follow for more news.
Court's Ragoose. The big Ragusa.
And why is it the court's opinion? Why isn't it the law?
Isn't a law written specifically to be unambiguous? I hate legal speech because it's so like, what the hell does this say?
I agree, and you know, and it is supposed to be ambiguous, and it isn't supposed to. It isn't supposed to be swayed because I feel one way about it or another. It's the law. Should be the end all be all.
Cut and dry, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. So I hate this vagueness. I hate this interpretive legal ease. Like, oh well, you can look at it one. Oh my God. I mean, it's bad enough that we see videos of the ICE officer being run into, or at the very least, the car driving towards him, and he may have been able to sort of jump out of the way. But I saw, and to have reasonable people, and I have an ex-cop friend who was looking at it, who looked at it completely differently than I did, and I saw it as she was driving, this Renee Good driving into him, and he had to kind of, back out of the way, and then that's when he shot her. I'm not saying I'm justifying the shooting of it.
Yeah, from his dash cam, he was like, "Oh shit," you know what I mean? It almost got hit, and they didn't show that part in the regular media. They didn't show that part at all.
Yeah, you have to see it.
They showed him stepping away, and yeah.
Are we independent media? No, we're just an entertainment show, actually. But you can see it, and I can say, no, she had the intent to drive away, and he happened to be in the way. Whether she meant to run into him or not is irrelevant. And if we can misinterpret, or we can interpret it two different ways, that he did or didn't get in the way, or she did or didn't have intent to do that, how do you think a law like this is going to end up? Interpreted by the court's opinion?
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? So yeah, so here we have more shit, and this is really get people upset. Is why are people not more people upset that their taxpayer dollars are going to anybody, let alone these people being Somali Americans or Somalians in this country, using our taxpayer dollars to live the life of Riley and send it off to whoever or wherever, whatever the case may be. But here's a report from News Nation talking about the lavish spending that these people have been getting and using it for fraud when they're supposed to really be using it for the kids.
Plane tickets, luxury cars, fine jewelry. All these lavish things allegedly bought by Minnesota fraudsters with taxpayer money intended for hungry children. New documents obtained by News Nation show hundreds of millions of dollars worth of funds were spent in the fraud scheme engulfing Minnesota's social services programs. The case prompting an investigation by the House Oversight Committee. The chairman of that committee, Congressman James Comer, telling me he thinks that this could potentially be an organized
What is
scheme
that language right there?
expanding
I can't read that.
Minnesota.
Can you read that language? I don't know.
I do not know.
Say that
Looks like jihad to me.
in other states with other social programs with other groups.
Our Rich McHugh has been all over this one all week long and has some brand new reporting on what he's learning tonight. Rich?
Hi, Blake. Yeah, finally we were seeing firsthand how they were spending these millions and millions of dollars of taxpayer funds that were bilked from Minnesota and from the welfare scandal there. And let's just say that they were living large and they were burning large amounts of cash. You know, when these indictments were first announced in September of 2022, it was shocking even then.
And yet we're busting our
2022.
asses every single day to make sure we can keep the roof over our heads and food in our kids' bellies and be able to enjoy going on a vacation once or twice a year somewhere. But these people are living large, buying expensive automobiles, going on lavish vacations or whatever the hell they were doing at our expense and lying and saying that they're running a legitimate business.
Mm-hmm.
And we're supposed to, oh, well, they're black people. They're, you know, they're not white people. So therefore they get a pass. I mean, that's basically what it comes down to. And
Yeah.
black people who are Americans should be pissed. Brown people who are Americans should be pissed. White people who are Americans should be pissed. I don't understand why people are not pissed about this more than they are.
Especially when these were funds intended for kids in Minnesota. You know?
You know, I have an idea. I have a business idea. You want to hear it?
Offline, yeah.
Because I'm just wondering, how hard would it be to open up a daycare center? Dude, we can run one just as easily as people who barely speak English.
Yeah.
I'm just
But
saying.
you know, the crazy thing is we're not criminals.
What? Wait.
You know,
Wait
and
a
the
minute.
thing,
Are you
and
accusing them of something? I'm not sure where you're going with this.
criminal activity?
What?
No, I wouldn't dare do that.
No. Why would you do that? Let's see what else these guys were using this money on real quick.
They used this money that was supposed to be used for feeding children to buy houses in Minnesota, resort property and real estate in Kenya and Turkey, luxury cars, commercial property, jewelry, and much more.
But now these documents we've just obtained reveal the scope of this. You know, a gorgeous honeymoon in the Maldives. There's video of them.
Dude, I would love to go to the Maldives. Have you
Just
seen it?
popping corks in the Maldives.
Have
I've
you-
seen pictures, but
Have you
I've never
seen how
been there.
beautiful the Maldives are?
No, not this grand scope.
Oh man. I mean, can you see through that little sliver in the screen there? You can see
I
the
mean, yeah, it
ocean.
looks like that's a great place to be.
Looks horrible, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'd like to be there right now.
I would hate that. Yeah. I mean, but you know, I mean, going to the Maldives is pretty, you know, affordable for most people. It's, you know, probably a 5-figure easily vacation for a few days and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
most everybody can just, you know, drop money on and get in there, you know.
Yeah.
You know, no big
Yeah.
deal. No bigs.
biggie.
You know what I'm saying? No
No
biggie.
You don't really have to save up for that. It just whatever you got in the checking account probably get you there.
Yeah, exactly. So you ever heard of this kid, Nick Shirley? Oh, I bet you have.
Yo, this kid's got some press.
This kid has got some creds going on. And did you ever look him up and see who
Yeah, his father is not
not the Shirley that's in the government or
no.
dealing with? Okay, so because I was wondering how he was able to afford to go into Dearborn, because he did a big old thing about Dearborn and the Islamic, the Muslim population there that's kind of overtaking the town. And then was able to come back to Minnesota. I don't know where he's from, but I'm sure he
He's
had this.
from he's from here.
Oh, he's from here?
Yeah, he went to Farmington High School in Utah.
You're kidding.
No joke.
Dude, we have more local connections here on things like the Charlie Kirk assassination
I know, dude.
and this type of stuff than I have seen in a long ass time. Holy crap, that's interesting. I did
Yeah,
not know that.
yeah, he graduated in 2020.
Okay.
And this is just this is just from the internet, so it's nothing crazy. But he did some vlogs and some pranks, on the YouTubes and stuff like that with his high school buddies, and really just kind of screwing around. Disrupted a few celebrity weddings,
Sweet.
and then
I love that.
and then, yeah, and then he did some of his own footage on like the January 6th stuff, that CNN, HuffPost, a couple other agencies picked up. But yeah, so then he started, doing political videos and stuff like that. So that's kind of a little bit of his background. And then he just started kind of getting deeper and deeper and deeper.
But it seems like he had good intentions to truly uncover something, not just to get clicks. Is that what we're reading into this right now?
That's kind of what it seems like. It just kind of skimming through there, a little bit on his background. He kind of, like, as he started digging into some politics and stuff like that, it looked like he kind of started like looking at some of the, fraud, waste, and abuse type stuff, and just got deeper and deeper and deeper, which kind of led him here.
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, good on him. And anybody who thinks that he's, not being legit, or he's, trying to get clicks or whatever, probably has some sort of agenda against him, to try to discredit him, because somebody wants to cover this up and allow this shit to keep happening. And why? Well, who are they getting paid by to allow this shit to happen?
But you have these journalists just going out and trying to break these stories and blah 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 and da 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 and da da da, and it comes down to this young kid,
right? You people couldn't do your job, but this random kid,
exactly. Like, where are the I know the blue side independent journalists? Where are the red side independent journalists trying to, doing these things and digging up these, these stories that really mean something? You know what I mean? It means something to the state, means something to the taxpayer, something like that. And okay, we'll leave it to this, young YouTuber, to break stories like this. Well, I think that's kind of, a slack job on, independent journalism. You guys need to step it up.
Well, yeah, and here's a prime example of the bullshit that we keep seeing out of everything. And what site? This is the 19thnews.org. This is some little independent rag, apparently. I don't know if they're left leaning. I don't know if they're right leaning. I don't really care. Are they going to report the real story, and unbiased, and just say, well, this could be this could be that, until you start reading a little bit into this, and you're like, oh, okay. So evidence is nowhere near the epidemic levels a viral YouTube video would suggest, but it hasn't stopped the crackdown on child care funding. Here's a fact check, which I don't believe on this bullshit fact check to begin with, because they're all funded by one side or the other. Most of them seem to be funded by Democrat donors on the left, the George Soroses and things like that. A viral video posted just after Christmas spurred an avalanche of news coverage, changes from the Trump administration and congressional hearings that appeared to indicate that a massive trove of child care fraud was just uncovered in Minnesota. Much of it has been misleading. Has it? I merely ask a question. Then I wonder, okay, has it really? Because the next line is the video by right-wing YouTuber.
Right wing.
How do you know he's right-wing?
How do you know he's right-wing? Yeah.
And just because he leans more conservative, or maybe he's just trying to uncover truth, doesn't necessarily make him right-wing.
It's just because he made a bunch of videos in support of
Go against their
Trump.
narrative.
Yeah, Trump when he was a candidate.
Yeah. So he's a right-wing YouTuber, and he posted on the 26th of December showing various Minneapolis daycares run by Somali Americans. Now, I don't know how you can go in to this building that has, I don't know how many child care facilities within the hallways, like he showed. We've all seen them, probably.
Mhm.
And every single one of them, he goes, goes to the door and asks them a question. Can I put my kid in here? And they close the door on him because he's a white kid. And he might have a phone camera up, or because I don't think they had a real quote unquote video camera. I think they just were using their iPhone or whatever.
Mhm.
And they all closed the doors on him, like, right in his face. They all were asking him a question. Are you with the authorities? All this, that, and the other. And then they go, although the video has already been debunked by investigators, the Trump administration, Republicans in Congress have seized on it. Okay. So I don't know if it really has been debunked. First of all, who's saying that?
Yeah, nobody. There's
Jacob Fry
been no
and Tim Walz.
AOC.
Yeah. Ilhan Omar,
Birdie,
who's oddly enough Somalian, by the way, who should be deported back to Somalia because she's anti-American. But yeah, Bernie. Vice President J.D. Vance says Shirley has done far more useful journalism than any of the winners in the 2024 Pulitzer Prizes.
What did I just say?
Bitch,
Yeah.
is basically what they're saying. The fallout has been massive. They've frozen child care payments. Why not? Why can we not say, you know what? This doesn't look like it's on the up and up and legit. So we're going to freeze payments till we figure out what's going on. Not unheard of anywhere in the world, by the way.
Right. But if you have enough money to go to the Maldives and pop bottles, then
right. But that's been debunked apparently.
Yeah, but you shouldn't be too concerned about them freezing payments because you got a ton of money in the bank, right, to take care of it.
Well, it's under your mattress.
Yeah,
it's all in cash.
It's all in cash.
Great. I wish I had that, to be honest with you. But the real story behind child care fraud in Minnesota is far less nefarious. What?
Hundreds of millions of dollars is far less nefarious.
250 million to 19 billion, give or take whatever number you're going to go with, even if it's only 250 million. That's a lot of fraud.
That's a lot of fraud. That's nefarious, if you ask me. That's
pretty nefarious, especially if you're using children as your cover or as your, front. Here's what we actually know about child care fraud in Minnesota and elsewhere, and how daycares and families are being impacted. What does Nick Shirley's video actually uncover? Well, nothing conclusive. Nothing conclusive to who? Are you looking over here while shit's going on over here?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a question I would ask. It's like, well, what are you actually really looking at? Because I'll guarantee you, if it was the Biden administration and it was flipped around the other way, and it was a conservative group or whatever that was running this fraud or potential fraud, and somebody else they would be on this shit 24/7, announcing it, going, "This is typical of Republicans. This is, I mean, it would, right? Am I not wrong? Put it in the comments if you think I'm wrong."
Well, and they're saying that he declares this as proof of fraud. No, he's not. He didn't declare anything.
He never did.
He didn't declare anything.
He might have declared it as potential, but I don't think he said proof of.
Well, he couldn't have proved it anyway.
Fraud.
He could, he couldn't have proved it anyway. They would have had to do the investigation. And like you said earlier, if you're on the 100% up and up, come in, do the investigation. Here's the books.
Why are you hiding?
You know what I mean?
Why are you slamming the door in my face?
Yeah, I'm not hiding anything.
Are you filming me outside your building in the parking lot with your cameras, all 10 of you?
Mm-hmm.
Did you people not see that video?
Yeah, that just goes to show, if you're not doing anything nefarious, then you should just go along with the investigation and open your books. But the fact that you're not kind of suggests to me that you're doing some nefarious shit.
Well, you also heard of the break-in that happened at one of the child care facilities, didn't you? And they
Yeah, a little
mysteriously,
bit.
yeah, somebody mysteriously broke in and happened to take the records of the children who were registered at the daycare
Yeah,
facility and other documents that would, I don't know, be a little incriminating.
yeah. Because no one breaks in to take records. People break
No.
in to take electronics. They break in to take money. They break in to take this and this and that. They don't break in to take records. That's dumb.
Well, here's some more interesting stuff that really kind of pokes a big, huge hole in that story that they're on the up and up and that this is not really a problem and things like that. If it's not really a problem and there's not really people who are getting upset that somebody's inquiring into their potential business legality, why is it in this particular report we have this? Nick Shirley's investigative partner, David, explains he was tracked by 3 Somalians while investigating this whole thing. They found him and attacked him with a knife. He called the police and the police wouldn't come to help.
Wow.
It's pure evil. Wow. Yes. Wow. Hey, there it is right there. Wow.
Very wow. Yeah.
Wow. He said he went to the governor's mansion and was attacked by 3 Somali men. Again,
And it's on camera.
And it's on camera. Are these 3 Somalian men, are they legal? Are they illegal? It doesn't really matter. But it would be interesting if they weren't actual citizens either. Then it would make it 10 times worse or 100 times worse, right? Not that it's not bad, but they shouldn't be here to begin with, but they're attacking him with a knife because he's looking into their theft, their stolen activities, stealing activities, theft, whatever.
Right?
I don't know. I can't speak English right now because I'm feeling Somalian today. You know,
well, that's kind of the thing. Like, why?
Nobody
Why are
came
they
after he called
attacking you?
911 when he was attacked by a knife. How would you feel, dude, if you were attacked by whatever the circumstances? You were attacked by a knife by Somalians,
3 Somalians. Yeah.
or
it says that
black people, or brown people, or whatever.
The police are
White
even
people,
afraid of
even.
them. Like, that's ridiculous.
I hate turning race into this thing, but this is what they do. This is what they do.
Well, it's what they're what these people did. I mean, yeah, okay. These people weren't white; they were Somali.
Yeah.
Sorry. I mean, come on.
And we know a lot of the Somalians are not here legally. Sorry, we do. Right?
Yeah.
So let's listen to what David, who's the gentleman at the bottom here, obviously because he doesn't look like he's 23 or 25 years old. Going out on a limb on that one, but let's see what he's saying here.
Governor's mansion, and I was attacked by 3 Somali men. It's on camera. I made a 911 call. Nobody came to help me. The week before that, I fought off a knife attack. And these people are very violent, and people are afraid of them. The police are even afraid of them. And the police chief is out there telling the public, if you see an ICE agent, call 911. I mean, it's insanity. It's just pure evil. I mean, it's.
Now, let's directly talk about the Somali population because, for instance, you get attacked by 3 Somalians.
Governor's mansion.
Yeah, I mean, and then they go into, of course, now Nick is attacked for asking the question about the particular people involved who happen to be, I don't know, Somalian. Excuse me. And now they're the ones who are racist. They're the one. I mean, we are protecting the perpetrators. We are protecting the illegals. We are not protecting the citizens of this country. We're not protecting Americans. We are allowing these people to do this, and they continue to do it, and they get even worse about it. And this is absolutely disgusting and should be upsetting to anyone out here who's involved, who's looking at this. So here's another one that and these are just 2. I mean, I've seen, I don't know how many where these guys they start out very calmly talking, But then when there any little pushback against them, then all of a sudden they start getting angrier and their voices raise and they get very violent in their talking. Let's hear a little of this, because Somali Crook gets very angry at Nick Shirley for exposing his fraud and corruption. Now, anytime you get very defensive and angry and you start calling somebody else names who have called you out on something, does that not make you look a little guilty that you are maybe upset? Because if you weren't guilty, why would you get upset about it? It's like, I didn't do
So
that.
what blows me away is it just in that next paragraph or the next couple sentences, it says they have gotten by with this corruption and are so used to stealing, it's their normal way of life.
Yeah.
And that's it. That blows me away. I mean, I get it. Like if you're from third world, yeah, okay, and you do these little schemes, or you're a thief or whatever, fine. But that you're not supposed to do that here,
Right.
especially when we brought you here and gave you an opportunity. Like,
yeah,
come on.
And you spit in our face, says, you know. Well, let's listen a little of this video and let's listen to this guy get angry, shall we?
With race, this is fraud.
This
fraud.
Absolutely has to do with us being Muslim.
No, it does not.
Oh my effing God, I am sick and tired of that shit.
Yeah.
It has to do with us being Muslim. It has to do with us being Somalian. It has to do with the bullshit. It has to do with you being a fucking crook and stealing all of our goddamn money.
Stealing money, yeah.
And defrauding the American people out of their taxpayer dollars so you can live high on the hog. Mother trucker. You know what I'm saying?
Us being from Africa. This is a concept.
Oh my God. And you dipshit libtards believe this shit. And you fall into this bullshit and you accept it. Oh, yeah, it's because they're from Africa. How dare we? You're basically allowing these people to get away with anything they want because they happen to be from Africa, or they happen to be dark colored skin, or they happen to be. I mean, do you not see how ridiculous this bullshit is?
It's your tax money. I don't understand it.
I don't care who it was. If it was Nick Shirley who was stealing my tax dollars, I would want him to go to prison for it.
Exactly.
If he did it. Because you're stealing my freaking money, dude. I can't go on these lavish vacations because I'm working hard. I have to go on little lesser vacations or whatever. But you, who not even part of this goddamn country, if you came here legally and you want to be here, like we talked about before, awesome. Please do. Love the fact that you have the opportunity to do what you want to do here. But you cannot come here and then run some fraud scheme and expect everybody to just roll over. Oh, well, you are black. You're from Africa. You're Muslim.
You're going to pass. Yeah, that's bullshit.
Institutional argument. If you don't want us here, change the freedom of religion. Say, listen, we don't want Muslims in this country anymore.
Perfect. Let's do that.
You
don't have freedom of religion if you're Muslim.
Sure.
Oh,
but
that's controversial. I'm just
the
kidding.
Stupid thing is it's the classic victim. Okay?
But it's all or none. Yeah.
Now you're exposing that I'm doing a crime. Now I'm going to play the victim.
Exactly. That's what they're doing.
Come on,
listen
man.
to what he's saying, everyone.
We're not saying that.
No.
We're not saying that.
When I go
Sir,
onto
we're
your
talking
comments,
about fraud. You're talking.
When I go onto your comments,
my comments.
What I see is people that say we do not want Muslims here. Kick every single Muslim in Minnesota.
Okay, that is not what people are saying, because people do realize there are good Muslims who want to be here, who want to assimilate, who want to be part of society. We have friends who are, okay, and they are normal people. They are great people, just like anybody else. The ones we're talking about are the people who are wanting Sharia law, who do not want to assimilate into our society, who do not want to be part of America, really. Okay. And they want you to convert or die.
Yeah.
No,
they do. Yeah.
Listen to any radical imam talking about this and how they are trying to radicalize the mosques where people go and talk about how they are going to have more babies and they're going to create a population that in the next generation will outnumber the voting bloc of everywhere else. And once they outnumber in voting blocks, and again, I don't have a problem if you want to be a normal person in our society, but Islam is not compatible with Western culture.
No, it's not.
With our Constitution. It is not. You can be Muslim and you can practice Muslim and you can do whatever you want on your own or whatever. But when you try to take over, and this is what's happening in Europe, when you try to take over, I mean, look what these assholes are doing. If you've ever seen the Christmas markets in like Germany and France and other places where these large groups of Muslims walk through and interrupt and shout out their phrases, their whatever, play their music, play their whatever, blasting over. Why do you have to do that? Those are the people that need to go back to the Middle East.
Yeah. And why is it okay? Because the thing is if any of those groups would have done it to you, you would have freaked the fuck out because and just start the pandering like this asshole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm only 30 seconds into this and I'm livid.
I'm disgusted. Yeah.
We'll just listen to a few seconds more or whatever, but this guy is pissing me off already.
Out of Minnesota.
That's a comment.
You're preparing for the Somali camp.
Okay. Yelling louder doesn't make your argument more valid, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Community to maybe be taken to concentration camps, just like the Japanese community. All right, you're sensationalizing.
No, we're not.
All right,
Sir,
something that
answer
can
the question. Where is the transportation vehicle company?
Jeopardize
answer the question.
The safety and the protection of the Somali
fraud.
community.
We're talking about
if
fraud.
Anything happens to the Somali
We're talking
community.
about fraud.
Listen, I'm not doing anything. I'm not physically touching.
You're getting very close.
I'm not physically touching. No, I'm not physically touching.
This is
no, but they think they have a right to physically touch you. By the way. Have you seen what's his name in England? Tommy, what's his name? Anyway, he's kind of running for office in England. He drives through these neighborhoods that are now overrun by these radical Muslims, basically. And these guys will come up to his window. They know who he is, and they are trying to get him to get out of the car and fight him, basically, in a sense. Try to antagonize him to get out of the car. And once they do, 20 other Muslim dudes, Islamists, come out from the woodwork and they're going to basically probably kill him. So he doesn't stop. He knows what their tactics are.
Mm-hmm.
These people do not deserve to be in our country. They do not deserve to be in these European countries or any other Western countries if they are to treat people like this and act the way they feel they can act. And do whatever the hell they want because now they have taken over. It's not England anymore in these neighborhoods. It's little Mogadishu. It's little Iran, Tehran. It's little Kabul. It's little whatever. And it's a shame because we give these people the opportunity to come here to do what they want to do. And this is the thanks we get. This is the thanks Europe gets for inviting them in. People need to wake up, but this fraud needs to be exposed, and you can see how angry he's getting.
This fraud. We're talking about fraud. You're defending fraud. You're defending fraud.
Comments,
you're defending fraud.
People who hate Muslims want us out of here.
People can say what they want.
We actually hate Islamists, not Muslims. There's a difference, and there is a difference,
Yeah, this guy, I can't listen to this guy anymore. It's ridiculous.
He's pissing me off. I'll leave these links into the description so you can check them out. But
I just think that again, like we were talking about, like why are libtards just defending criminals, defending criminal acts, and what is the point, and how is that going to make America better?
Yeah.
And I don't even want to say make America great again because I don't want to be like, well,
how about make America America again?
Yeah. Or make it safe again. I mean, come on. And make it profitable. Make it profitable again for our people.
For anyone who wants to be here, to be an American, who appreciates the opportunities, no matter where you're from, Welcome.
Yeah, that
Come
that
on in.
includes legal immigrants.
Right. Come here legally. Do it correctly like they do in every other freaking country in the world.
Yeah.
Dude, we had another video. We're talking about this guy who was in a Democratic aligned mob, Jake Lang, who was dragged by the crowds and stabbed. And it just goes against again to the fact that this shit is allowed to happen by a certain political party in this country. Yes, we have a unitard, uniparty, really, but we also have differences when it comes down to it. And it seems one party will allow this shit to happen, while the other party is more likely to say, you know what? No, we're here for America. You put the mask over your head first before you put it on your child when you're in an airplane, and you need to do that.
It's like we
need to take care of ourselves first before we take care of everybody else.
Yeah.
But some certain party doesn't want to abide by that. They want to do their own thing. And it's really going to destroy what we have.
It is going to destroy it. And it makes it worse for our country every single day. You know what I mean? Every day, because every day we wake up to this and we have a worse look at our own people that are doing this shit, and it gets worse and worse and worse every day. And then, ultimately it might end up in a, civil unrest. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Well, here's a point.
I have another civil war.
You have a couple young girls, young girls. Your girls are what, 9 and 12, 10 and 12, something like that.
Yeah.
And they're going to grow up and get older and be out dating and be out and about eventually and things like that. I have a wife, we have girls too, we have friends, we have family members, we have sisters, we have mothers, we have all of these. And I really would like anyone, female or male, to be able to walk in our own hometown, downtown, wherever, and feel safe enough that they don't have to worry about some particular group of these Muslims who do not like the fact that you're not wearing a hijab or a burqa or whatever other covering. I saw a lady at Macy's. I'm assuming it was a lady. She was pretty short. She had the slit, and that was it. And everything else was the black robe at the mall.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like,
I've seen it before too. And and that's the thing. It's like, if that's what you want to practice, that's fine. But again, you're right to put the kind of thing and let that keep spilling over to bigger and bigger and bigger area. Once you've deemed this area yours, is bullshit. That doesn't. No, we're a free country. That's what that means.
Yeah. And I looked
we
at
are
the
allowed
lady
to move about where we choose.
I looked at the lady at the Macy's and I was just like, what kind of religion makes it so you have to be so ashamed, or you have to be so conservative, and not in the traditional sense of conservative, but it is so conservative that you have to be covered as a woman, as a female, and sit there wearing this stuff at the very minimum, cover your hair. I've seen Muslim gals at the mall, beautiful face, their makeup was absolutely gorgeous, but they had to cover their hair. And I'm like, this does not make sense to me. You can wear all the makeup in the world, you can do all the whatever, but you have to cover your hair. Are you people so out of control that you can't control yourself around women who are not fully covered out in public?
I mean,
what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
And this is the type of shit I'm talking about on the street. Not, if you're a woman and you're a Me Too or you're a feminist or whatever, why are you not out saying this is ridiculous? This is what Iran is trying to get back. Mm-hmm. They used to not have to wear this. They used to be very westernized. They used to be very normal, if you want to call it normal, in Western type of society in the Middle East. They have all the Tiffany's and all the Armani stores, all this shit like that, like we have it here, and they could walk around. But now under this Islamist regime, they have to wear these burqas, and if they don't, they can be stoned.
Yeah.
By their husbands, by strangers, men who think that they're not abiding by the Quran properly.
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, it's weird to see, and I don't want to see that extreme come here. And like I said, because I feel bad. I feel bad for, what goes on behind closed doors with that.
Right.
Again, if it's your choice to do that in your own home, around, with your own body, fine.
Right. Do whatever you want, really.
But don't, like you said, don't bring it on our families.
Yeah.
Don't make it weird for us to walk somewhere because you have a certain belief. I'm
sorry. I really don't want to see women walking around in America in that, like we're in little freaking Baghdad.
Yeah,
like
right.
we're in little Tehran. America is about, like you said, freedom of choice, freedom of religion, freedom to be able to do what you do, as long as you're not infringing on everybody else's rights to do their thing.
Sure.
But I also don't want to see a bass-ackwards 1,000-year-old antiquated system of making women walk around fully covered with just eye slits. And you know what? Who are you under there? Who is this person really? And then they want to get into, well, you can't take a passport picture of me or a driver's license picture of me. I have to have just this. The whole point is to identify you, you dumbass. And you're using your religious exemption to try to say, I'm sorry, but I do have some questions about the legitimacy of your religion, first of all. And we've gone through this before. But to see this shit, to see somebody like Nick Shirley say, hey, what's going on? And then you to get all up in his face and you to think that you were right. And then what you're doing, I would never do you feel, I wouldn't feel comfortable walking around there as a guy, let alone a wife or a girlfriend or a mom or anybody else to walk around that neighborhood. Right. And why is that? Why are we? I mean, it's bad enough we have neighborhoods you don't want to walk around that Americans live in.
Well, that's the difference between, when groups like that are brought here rather than, becoming a citizen and getting citizenship, legal. And then to fly them over the border, that's illegal as shit anyway. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
But then, but the problem is when that happens, they get a mindset of this is their right.
Right. Yeah.
No, this is a privilege for you. This is not a right. And the problem is they get those two words mixed up. And then that's when this shit starts happening.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
no,
definitely.
it is not your right because you don't have rights here because you're not a true citizen here.
Yeah.
And you don't pay taxes.
The privilege of being an American citizen is having these rights. You're not a citizen. You don't get benefits. You shouldn't get handouts. You shouldn't get any of this stuff. You're not a citizen. Oh, but we can't let these people starve and blah, blah, blah. I was like,
well, yeah. The past governments have shelled this shit out so much that they feel like it's their right, And
go to Mexico and try to have the government pay for your home, your housing, your food, all of this shit. Go. Let me know. Document it. Prove that they are going to give you welfare down there because you're an American and you're in Mexico and you say, well, I'm here because I want to live here. And you, as the government of Mexico, should provide to me free housing, free food, free healthcare, free school, educations, everything else.
Yeah. Yeah. Try to get away with that. They're going to laugh in your face or just shoot you.
Yeah.
Period. Well, then it's ridiculous. It's as ridiculous as this. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm a half-breed, right?
Yeah.
Half-breed. I was born here, raised here, Christian conservative. If I told my Muslim neighbor, the guy next door to me, Muslim guy, great guy.
Yeah.
Takes care of his family, owns his own business, does great. But if I said, okay, where your property line ends and mine begins, you can't walk on that sidewalk. You can't drive on that street because that's my area.
Yeah.
And my area extends to however far I feel necessary.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But they're doing that the other way around.
But
I'm
they
not
can
saying
do that
he
to
is
us.
particularly,
I'm not
but
saying,
I mean,
not
in
saying
general,
he is.
right?
But this is what this is coming down to in these areas. And how ridiculous does that sound?
Yeah, because you don't have the right to do that just as much as he doesn't have the right to do that. But
exactly,
he may think he does. And that's the difference. And then he's protected because he's from Africa. He's Muslim. He's whatever. And all of a sudden we're supposed to go, oh, well, we don't want to offend him. So therefore, he has the right to do that.
It's the poor me because you don't want to offend him. Pisses me off. You. Yeah.
Sorry, we got a little more serious than we usually. We try to keep it a little light, but you know, we're trying. We're trying. It's just it's frustrating because we have so many people who are defending people who should not be defended in the way that they're being defended.
Well, especially fraudulent criminals. I mean,
fraudulent criminals. We have people who are here illegally committing crimes. We didn't talk about this for the ICE raids in Minneapolis, and then Renee Good getting killed and all that. But it all kind of stems back to this. We have created a society or a group of people who are defending this shit over us, the American people, and especially white people or white conservative, female, male, black conservatives. They hate black conservatives, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
The white liberal women, those bitches, they hate, they hate black conservatives. They hate
because it goes against everything. It goes against anything that they're standing for.
Yeah,
because they can't defend them the way that they want to because they're undefendable. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly. Yeah. So give us your thoughts, people. Let us know what you think. Do you think do you think we're off base when we say, look, we want to really kind of say, if you want to be here and you want to come legally and you want to do it legal and you want to be a part of this country, awesome, great. Come on in.
Sure.
Come on down. You're the next contestant. Okay.
Yeah.
But if you want to come here illegally, shirk the system, and then screw the system and screw all the American people out of things like this, like fraud or whatever, or you want to commit crimes and not be here as a legal person, you commit a crime, these major crimes that the ICE agents are going after, and you're in Mexico, guess what? They would just rather shoot you than take you in.
Shoot you. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because they're not going to put up with that shit. And why are we putting up with that shit? Because we have a bunch of fucking Karens who want to defend criminals who are here illegally, who are going to destroy your neighborhood that you live in, and my family members and your family members and your friends and my friends and everybody else's friends, because we have dangerous people in our neighborhoods and we have dipshit, moronic, idiot Karens who have the brain cells of a freaking gnat defending these people.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Let us know what you think. Let
us know if we're on base or off base.
Yeah.
But until next time, go check out the rudeburn.etsy.com and grab some merch, grab some stuff. Do the things, like, share, subscribe. We appreciate it, and let us know what you think. And and make sure you question everything.
Question everything, y'all. This is what we're trying to do. Glad you're back. It's been a few weeks, over a month since we've been able to do one of these. We've done a couple today just to kind of get them in. I've got to edit these and the others we've done before. So we have a few that will be coming out as soon as I can get them all edited and up. But we really enjoy doing this. So yeah, check out the store for sure. The rudebarn.etsy.com. Pick up some merch. We appreciate you coming out and joining us, and look for us for the next videos after that. Right, buddy?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Well, have a good one. I appreciate your stopping by. We'll see you next time. Like, subscribe, share, and multiply and divide. Something like that. Have a good one, y'all.
Later.